Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing Alternate Future of the World, Episode 2. So as you could see in the last few episodes, or not episodes, I've given like a teaser if you actually watch that, and it explains everything that's going to happen in this episode so far, but there's nothing else I have to talk about right now, so let's get into it. Now, if you don't know why this war started, just watch the teaser for all the three series of this. But let's get into it. So, first off, we're gonna have Poland sending an invasion into Kaliningrad, getting about this much so far. Actually, wait. Gotta do this real quick. But there, and then they're also going to send in a little invasion into Belarus. And I forgot to say that this little Ukraine join is like, they're being like, kind of like puppet shape for Russia currently. But we're going to have all these guys sending support over to Poland and Finland, which is why they're doing so good so far. But up to Finland, they're gonna invade, and they're gonna get along this like lake, whatever, I don't know what it's called. And they're gonna get pretty far along the coast, and they're gonna try to capture this city, like Petersburg, whatever it's called. But we're gonna have them stop there, and wait a minute. Yeah. So China is also on the side of the west. And I did not give a reason for this so far, but we're gonna be if you remember from the first episode, there is no alliances, and so basically they just started like a secret alliance, I guess. And you can see now that they are on the Blue Alliance now. Including the United States. Wait. There and there. And also there. But, yeah. This is the alliance, isn't so far. And once again, this is supposed to be fun and not realistic. So, back over here, we're gonna have them continuing their invasion, but they will face Russian reinforcements, and it like kind of goes to stalemate so far right here. So we are going to move back up to Poland. In Poland, they take over this area, and then just the whole place is gone now. And in Finland, they also start a little area right here. Right here, in this area. And Finland gets a little in the south in this area, but then like get pushed up in the north. And then they're almost back to the border of Finland, but they actually make an invasion right here. And then back over to Poland. Belarus now has reinforcements, and they are receiving an invasion by Belarus and the Ukrainian puppet state and Russia all at once now. And actually, the Russians are going to recruit a new ally. And guess who this is? It's going to be Germany. So they can have help on the west. And they're going to try to get some more allies so far. And they will get one. Italy. But now we're going to have Poland start getting invaded from both sides now. But this doesn't last for long until the French are invading into Germany. But they didn't really have any troops on the Italian border, so Italy makes an invasion and they take Corsica, and then there's an invasion on the land on the border. It's like this so far. And eventually Poland loses Kaliningrad. And back up to the north, we have Finland actually gaining a little. But in the north, they are losing. They're sending most of their troops in this area. And now there's a big invasion in this little area. So that's not too good for Finland. But this push continues down. And they finally start meeting a bit more of resistance. A little bit in the north, but it's not really needed. But enough of that. We're going to go back to Asia, where we see the Russians are getting pushed back a lot. And there's another tiny push right here. And we are going to have Russia recruiting another ally, which we're going to have India joining. But not just India, we're going to have North Korea. Oh, it's great. It's great for Russia. They're really going to last a long time. But in India, they're going to start a little invasion in this area. But they won't get too far yet. Another little one in this area. Like that. And now we're going to have the invasion of North Korea. They don't really have... They knew that eventually North Korea was going to join, so they already had troops positioned on the capital. Oh, and they're going to take this island. But in this push, they are gaining. And like that. And then over here, they're finally going to see some pushback by the Russians along this coast and island. And it looks so bad. But they just take it all back. For now, at least. But back to Europe, we're going to have Germany actually push back the French a little. But up in this area, they are going to have some trouble because they're pushing north. And a new ally is going to join. And that is going to be the Netherlands. And we're going to have them push in. And now this pushes all along the German border on the west side. It's not looking too good for Germany right now. But down here, the Italians are going to have more time to push. And they get, not that much, but they're going to get about this until they meet reinforcements from the French. And we're going to have a stalemate for a little bit. And we're going to have the Russians actually push the Finland out of this area, and they're going to start pushing a little more. And in the north, they receive more pushback. Like this. And they will continue their push right here. They're going to encircle a big amount of troops in this area. And they all die. Yep. And they're getting closer and closer to the capital, which I think is around this area. But we're not going to see that yet. But first, they push back a little. And we're going to have Poland see a lot of, losses on the east side. But over here, we're going to have them have a lot of victory. And they almost pushed the Germans fully out. And over here, we are going to have the Iberian Union make a landing on Sardinia, and they start an invasion. They also start an invasion on Corsica. And we have the French push back with more support, but not fully yet. Over here in Germany, we have some pushback on the south, but not much as they start pushing more in the north. And we will have them start losing a lot. And they try to make a little, invasion in this area, which they managed to do. And that actually succeeds, and they, encircle these troops, and then they're gone. And they're actually doing a little better now. And now, back to Asia, we're going to have India send a lot more troops over in this area. And they are going to invade all the way over here. And all the way up to here, in this area. And in North Korea, they're basically just gone. Yeah. The first full death in this war, I guess. But not, well, we're gonna have more pushback against the Chinese. But they're gonna actually lose more along the coast, which is where most Chinese troops are focused on right now. And they gain some land on this island once again. And the Russians are gonna get 2 new allies. Actually, no, 3 more, which is gonna be Taiwan to go against China, South Korea, and Japan. Now, once again, this is not meant to be realistic. But immediately, we have pushed into here. And also, it's not like for North Korea. They're just gone. Because they were on the blue team, but like, yeah. And Taiwan's just like, they're not gonna get too far anywhere. But here we have the Japanese making a landing right here. And they get pretty far, actually. And then we see this little push get fully out. And we have an invasion of China. Now this is a pretty big push. So we have now all this. And we're gonna have Corsica get fully annexed back into France, and Sardinia is in Spain now. And France has fully pushed Italy out. But then Germany pushes back, and they have to like send more troops in the north because they're losing fully in here. And this is all like the Netherlands push. But like it's basically at a stalemate right now. So it's not really moving. And the German are focused on the French right now. So they push more, and they get like this so far. And they have to send some troops out of Italy, and they actually get a pushback over here in Italy. No, it's not like the biggest, but it's something so far. And the Italians get a part of Corsica back. But then something is going to happen. In Russia, right here in the capital, we have the killing of those 2 important people who created the What If Civilization server and What If Civilization started on a new planet. simulations and stuff. Like, there's been fighting with like American and Russian troops, like in this area, and it's finally found out that America sent those troops to like stop the Russians from getting more powerful, and then we have Russia is gonna send an invasion into in Alaska, right here, and they actually get pretty far. But they don't like just stop at an invasion so far. They are going to send a just like a nuke. Yeah. Right here, it's headed for like this area right here. But it doesn't really make that area, and it goes right there. And like now there's just like, and now they realize that this wasn't like some kind of normal nuke that they have sent, and like now it's like spreading in the United States. Like that. And when that happens, also Poland is basically just bye-bye. And like that. And in Finland, they're fully pushed out. And they're threatened to surrender, which they will do. But the border before that will look like this. And back over to Asia, we're gonna have China invading Taiwan fully, and they will push back in North Korea. But then over here we have a large pushback in this area. And all this is taken back. And then another of these is sent to the Chinese capital over here. And it lands right here. It's spreading too. And this invasion is now like this. Now, India had wanted nothing to do with this, and they basically just make a truce, just China, that if they get like this land, that they will stop invading, and they will leave them alone in the future. And China just accepts that, because what else can they really do right now when their country is just being invaded for something unknown? But we're gonna have them get all this. like that. And then all this. And all that. And they're leaving the war now. But back over here, we're going to have them fully pushed out of North Korea and out of Russia. And we have them sending, like, a full invasion of all this area of China, which is going pretty well, I guess. And this thing spreads. And basically, yeah. And then Taiwan. And they actually do something a little. Like, come on. And then there is a rebellion in this area. I know they wouldn't take all this that fast, but whatever. But back over here into North America, they will fully take over Alaska and start an invasion of this area. And this thing will spread a lot. It spreads faster than the Chinese one, too. But not even just because they're, like, first. Like, they're just, like, made stronger. And no one really knows what this is. And we have another rebellion. And we have it over here. In this area of, like, the South, where, like, Texas is. And basically, the Iberian Union just leaves this war because they don't want anything to do with it anymore. And they give this back to Italy. And Italy takes back Corsica, and they start Germany and Italy start, like, an invasion together against France, now that they're connected. And the Netherlands is just dead now. And France just surrenders. And I forgot I made a truce between, peace. And then, like that. And all this is taken over by this kind of whatever it is, infection or whatever. And then China's gone, and then United States is almost gone. Well, soon they'll be gone. Actually, it spreads a lot like this. And the Russians take all this, basically. And then the Texas Rebellion gets all that. And then it's just Russia and their allies versus the United Kingdom. And they just say, they just leave. So, that is the end of this war. And I will make the peace treaty, and we will be back when that is finished. And we are back with the peace treaty. So we're gonna start over here. We're gonna the rebellion is all this now. You can tell it's the same borders as what it was when it rebelled. Exactly the same. Japan gets this. South Korea gets all of that. I forgot to make this border. And it's the exact same as all that. But Taiwan gets all this. And this gets all that. I don't know what to do with it. But the Ukrainian puppet gets all this. Oh, and Russia gets all that. And Russia gets this from Poland. And all this from Finland. Belarus gets that. The Ukrainian puppet gets like that. I called it two different countries. But Italy gets Corsica and all this. Germany gets this and all the Netherlands. France is a lot of it. They're fine, almost. They're not really fine. But the UK is just okay. But over here, we have this thing, all that, Texas, that rebellion, Russia gets all this, and Alaska. And basically that is all of the peace treaty. And the series is over. I'm kidding. But we see something weird happening in this area. We have a kind of portal opening in the starting area over here. And then it just disappears. The land just straight up disappears and into the ocean now. And this also happens right here. And that's gone. And now it happens here. And it's just gone. But we see these portals keep opening. But then, it also happens in China. In this area. And all that's gone. And then it does spread into this area too. And all of this is gone now. And this keeps happening, all that. And then, well, we see something happening right here in the starting place of all this. Portal opens here too. And then it's gone. But then it starts like hitting other areas. Just randomly. Like, but they're bigger now. And then here, 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 and here. And in India too. And then Australia. It's all doing that. And these areas, they just slowly just sink. Like bigger than the last ones would. And I'll just skip until I get all these done. So I'll see you then. And we are back again. So now you can see the map's changed a lot. Yeah. So all this is sunk. All this, there's like new land too. And all this is sunk. All this is sunk. And all this. And over back in Russia, we see this area has expanded a little. But not as much as the other ones. No, not like that. Like this. And we see something will happen, which something happens and suddenly like connections to the what if civilization started over and what if civilization started on a new planet, worlds like are lost and like somehow they get lost and they enter one of those portals and that like turns them into a new like universe. And it's like now it's not just a part of a simulation and it's actually real. But in the next episode it will be very different and we will see about that now then. I will see you in the next episode and goodbye.